Okay, we are back. I'm going to go more into detail tonight about Bammm, Books and Movement, a Magical Mix. We're going to go to Better Beginnings, Arkansas Better Beginnings. Then we're going to click on Providers and Teachers. Then we will go to Curriculum and Supplements. And then we will click on Preschool. And lastly, Books and Movement, a Magical Mix. I gave you the introduction already. Now we're going to look at our activity guides. And all the activity guides, a book comes along with it. So I'm going to select, I'm going to go to activity guide number 3, Running the Gingerbread Man Retold by Jim. Okay. And then you have the activity guide. And then the book is The Gingerbread Man and retold by Jim Alsworth, which is the author, the person who wrote the book. The illustrator is Barbara McClintock, and she drew the pictures. Our introduction: a child's mind and body develop together in an interrelated way. From the time they are born, children use their bodies to learn, make physical development vitally important to all areas of development and learning. However, today, there are a number of challenges to support a child's physical development, including their gross motor skills. Children have easy access to screens, television, cell phones, notebook tablets, and many live in areas where there may not be enough space or safe opportunities for them to engage in physical activities. Therefore, it is very important that children enrolled in the child care program have daily opportunities to develop their gross motor skills. Gross motor skills will largely develop on their own. There are ways in which early childhood professionals can encourage those skills to help children play confidently, engage in physical activities, fun physical activities, and develop a strong foundation for a healthy, active lifestyle that carries all the way into adulthood. This includes both opportunities for the child to explore freely and practice traveling skills through planned experience that are featured in the guides of the curriculum called Bammm. Begin by providing time each day for outside play, and always remember about weather permitting. Make sure there is a sufficient indoor and outdoor space for children to safely practice and refine their traveling skills, including running, which I know most teachers, they don't like children to run. They'll no running, stop, don't run, don't do that. In which we should be saying walking feet. Use your walking feet instead of saying stop, no running, or don't run. But with Bammm, they encourage the child to be very active, and that does include running. In this Bammm guide, children are introduced to running when they hear the story, The Gingerbread Man, followed by activities that involve them in teacher-guided running activities that support the physical development and health domain, plus additional activities that support language development and emergent literacy domain, as well as other domains. Side note, information for this introduction was adapted from physical development and health and our child development and early learning standards, which is the CEDOS, from birth to 60 months. And before I go any further, you will receive 3 hours of PDR credit for this week. Remember to do your pre-assessment before going into this activity. And when you get done with this activity, make sure you do your evaluation at the end so you can receive credit. So I am going to go down to the Arkansas Child Development and Early Learning Standards, or which is called the CEDALs. Some people call them CEDALs. I call them CEDALs. Then you have most people say CEDALs. Where you can find those is when you go to Google, you can go to Arkansas Early Learning Standards, and there you will have your CEDALs or CEDALs. And when you stroll down, you see the introduction, and then you go into your standards. And I'm going to go all the way down so I can show you the, I'm trying to get there without passing it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. These are the standards. I'm not sure if you have seen the CEDALs, or the CEDALs before, but you have your domain or of the development of learning, which is social and emotional development in the pink. And then you have your domain component, which is relationships with others. Then you have your learning goal, which is to form trusting relationship with nurturing adults. And when you go further down, you have your graph, and you start from birth all the way to 60 months. And these are called your indicators. For from birth to 8 months, it tells you what that child should typically be doing at those times. And then you have your footnotes at the bottom, and then you have your strands. So I'm going to go back to our books and movement learning activity. So for this activity, it's the physical development and health. And I'm going to see if I go back to my early learning standards, if I can find physical development and health. It is in purple. Let's see, can I find it right quick? The social emotional. Now, when you print this off, if you don't print out in color, they all will be black. Did I say physical development? Sorry. Yeah, physical development and health. I got a lot of tabs up. And that is learning goal PH 1.1. Let me go back up. PH 1.1. And there you go. Gross motor. We're going to demonstrate locomotor skills. And there are demonstrations of locomotive skills right here from birth to 60 months, which you will have. We're doing preschool. So typically you will want to start between 36 to 60 months. Demonstrates locomotive skills. That's traveling. You change your speed or direction while running, moves with control, avoiding obstacles and people while moving, moves through obstacle courses, steers wheelchair if you have special need children in your classroom, and stops at an intended location when running. Then you have your PH 1.2, shows stability and balance to increase that balance while moving from one position to another, changing directions. Freeze in the freeze game. Stop and freeze. Run, freeze. That would be your standard for that one. So you would need to have your materials to collect. You need the gingerbread man. And it doesn't technically have to be this gingerbread man story. You can come up with a similar book that's close to gingerbread man, or you can make up your own gingerbread man story with the children in it. That would be more fun, just to add the children in the book. And you can actually be the illustrator and retell the story yourself. as the author. You need to create squares or personal space markers. You need a picture of the gingerbread man, a set of cards with all the characters of the book. You get the man, the woman, the butcher, the cow. You need cones or 2 liter soda bottles weighted with gravel or sand. You need ingredients to make the gingerbread man cookies, and you need a bakery prop box, and you could probably put that inside of your dramatic play center for that week. You need ingredients to make the brown play-doh. You need gingerbread cookie cutters, sponges, magnetic storytelling boards so they can tell the story. You can tell the story, and you can put the story board inside your library center where they can go over there freely during free play and tell the story how they want to tell the story. So that's just a quick example. Then, personally, when you are done with this activity, when you go back to your early learning standards, you can actually assess that child to see where are their locomotor skills. Do they really demonstrate the locomotor skills according to their age? Did the child walk and run with balance? Um, did the child walk them down the stairs? What about the experimentation with the Play-Doh or different ways of movement? Did the child run, walk, tiptoe backwards, um, galloping while you're doing the activity? Certain things of the activity that's on this within this strand that they do it to see how you can not obsess, observe, I'm sorry, and write anecdotals on that particular child. And then if the child is not where, according to the age, if the child is not there, then you know, well, I might need to move back to 9 to 18 months. This child might not be at the 36 months, or the child might not be at the 48, 49 months. He might be in the middle, or he or she could be closer to the 19 months. And that's how you know where to start working with your children and who needs more work in their areas of strength. What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? Okay, we're gonna go back to the learning activity. And then you have another activity with the gingerbread man. You have understand response to language, the vocabulary, language comprehension, explores combining and separating groups, addition and subtraction. Begin by inviting children to sit on the carpet on their personal space. Show the child a picture of the gingerbread man. Ask if they know who this is. If not, say, "This is the gingerbread man. We'll be reading a story about him." And then you introduce the bakery. 5 little ginger man in the bakery shop. Hold up your 5 fingers. First, short and fat with raisins on top. Along came Johnny, while he's sitting in the chair, Johnny with the penny to pay. He bought one gingerbread man and took it away. Then you keep repeating that rhyme, taking one gingerbread man away each time until you get to the last verse. No little gingerbread men in a bakery shop, short and fat with raisins on the top. Along came Shirley with a penny to pay. She saw no gingerbread men, so she ran away. You want to make sure you adjust it so each child name is used in the rhyme. I know sometimes that can be a difficult situation when you have 20 children in your classroom, and because eventually when you first start, they're all excited. By the time you get to 12, 13, 14, the child, 15 or the 15th child, the other ones don't want to sit there to listen because they're bored because my name then came and we're moving on. So you have to keep the interest with the children. Present the story. Understand and respond to language in the child's home language. Show interest in literacy experiences. Engage in read alouds and conversations about book and stories, and respond to features of books in print, book knowledge. So, as you prepare to read the story, The Gingerbread Man, you show the cover, you give the title, the author, illustrator. A lot of times when I am reading a book, I'm going to hold the book up. Sometimes it just depends. I might ask them what they think is going to happen or what they think this story is about. But I do know all the time when I read the book, I'm going to point to the title while I'm reading the title to let them see that you're moving from the left to the right and let them see that this is the title of the book. And then I discuss the author and the illustrator, and you ask children to look at the cover and predict, like I said, what the story is about. Why do you think the gingerbread man is running? Let's read and find it out. Read book with the children, sitting so everyone can see the pictures. Review the story by showing the pages, and invite the children to tell their story in their own words. On pages where the gingerbread man says rhymes, read those with children and encourage them to join in. And explain to children that in just a few minutes they will have that opportunity to run like the gingerbread man. And then you want to extend the story. That's demonstrating locomotive skills, traveling, core stability, that balance, and understanding it and responding to language. It can be in their home language and in the our in English or Spanish. Introduce pathways for movement. You use your hand movements or a chart. Say this is straight, this is curvy, this is zigzag. So run each pathway again and ask children to name the pathway as you're running it. You show them straight, curvy while you're running, and zigzag. Provide enough space so that the children can run without touching other children. A lot of times when I do activities like this, sometimes I will move shelves back so it's open space for everybody. A lot of times I like type of activities when I am if it's a rainy, cold day that I know I can't get outside. So I want to make sure I do some fun activities on those days inside so they can still move around and release some of that energy that they have built up, especially if you have a few days back to back, can't go outside. Explain to children how different parts of their body work when they're running. Say, bend your elbows, then swing your arms when you run. Pick up your feet and move forward as fast as you can. Remind children to be careful while going and avoid running into other children. Reinforce the stop and signal goal. Beating on that drum, clapping your hands, blowing a whistle, eyes on me. Or you can say, can you run around the room without bumping into anyone? And then you say, do a stop signal. Then you give them the go signal. Now run in a curved pathway. Stop signal. Then you give them a go signal. Can you run in a zigzag pathway? You can even ask them what is a pathway. That's literacy, encouraging new vocabulary words. Pathway. Walk slowly. Pathway. What is bumping? That's just broaden their vocabulary. Sing this song, The Muffin Man. Oh, have you seen the gingerbread man, the gingerbread man, the gingerbread man? Have you seen the gingerbread man? He ran right down the lane. Oh, yes, I've seen the gingerbread man, the gingerbread man, the gingerbread man. Oh, yes, I've seen the gingerbread man. He ran right down the lane. Learning goals. So show interest in learning literacy experiences. Demonstrate the number senses and understanding of quantity. Quantity is a big word for them. What is quantity? What does that mean to you? Who chased the gingerbread man? Who came first, second, last? Make a set of cards with the characters so they can know, actually visually see and hear first, second, last. You want to review that story without stressing and stress the order in which the characters chase the gingerbread man. Gather six children together and give each one a story card and have the children tell the story of who chased the gingerbread man in the correct order. Conclude the activity by asking children, what happened when the gingerbread man met the fox? And then we hit another learning goal where we show awareness of ourselves as an individual. We show interest in language experiences, read alouds in conversations how about books and story. So, you're showing them how to communicate back and forth. Print knowledge, demonstrate number sense and quantity. Then you can compare two stories. When you read the book and read another book by another author, involve children in a discussion about the difference and the similarities between the two stories. Ask the child his favorite of the stories and one favorite. Why did you choose that? Create that graph. You can do a KWL chart. What you what you learned. Oh no, what you know, what you want to know or learn, and what you learn. Axes, write a story that's a summary of the graph, and then let the children actually see the summary of the graph. When I say summary, you don't want a big, long, drawn out. Because you want something short. You can even use the little um, gingerbread people or something to put up there beside, like if you want to do a graph on how many pets do you have or who has what pet. You can put a dog and put out their name inside. Just a simple summary story. Six children like the gingerbread man. Then you put four like the gingerbread boy with a little boy. And then you put more children like the gingerbread man's story. Then you want to go back into your locomotive skills, stability, balance, safe behavior. That's a good way you can show them about safety rules and practices, how important it is to listen to instructions so we won't hurt anybody if we're running and playing. And that helps them to understand when they go outside on the playground, because I have seen a lot of incidents on the playground and I know you probably have too, with children running and they boom bump heads because they're not paying attention or not thinking about safety. They just running and without even paying anything else attention. You want to create an indoor and outdoor woods obstacle. Um, Set up, like I said, you can set up in the classroom, push all the tables and stuff back, just to have y'all a fun day. Read the book again to the gingerbread man children, to them that they will pretend to be the gingerbread man, and then they're going to run through the woods to get away from the fox. Remind them about safety rules and practices, about running into each other. Remind them of the stop and the signal to go. And then the fox is chasing you, run around the tree so he can't catch you. And then you do your stop signal. Okay. Another learning goal with is adjusting graphs and coordinates movement to use tools. You want to demonstrate healthy eating habits, make nutritious food choice, and print knowledge. There's our recipe. Show them the recipe. Let a fourth a cup, 1 cup when you're doing the actual measurements to make the gingerbread cookies. You see how one little thing you can hit so many developmental goals, learning goals. Just one little book is targeting all those goals that you can meet. Then, yeah, like I said, make the recipe chart of it. Read the directions from the chart as you and the children are preparing the cookie dough. Allow the children to do as much as possible on their own. They can help you measure, they can help you sift it. I used to do it all the time with my children. We used to make soap. We made a cloud out of soap. We used to make Play-Doh. We used to do all types of cooking experiments in our classroom, at least once or twice out the month. Good, healthy, nutritious. Then you want to serve the gingerbread man cookies while they are still warm, so children can experience the smell, the aroma. I know that's probably not possible because everybody doesn't have a kitchen inside of their building. My kitchen is not located right inside the building. And you can serve with milk if you like, and you can send recipe cards home to send with the to send home to the families. Another learning goal explores the feelings, relationship, imitation, pretend play, exploring of drama. And you have your bakery prop box and dramatic play. You fill it up with all these goodies, the cake pans, the cookie sheets, the muffins, the mixing bowls, the spatulas, the flour, the sugar mixes, pot holders, rolling pins, recipe cards, laminate them. Let the children see those. They love to pretend and cook. Art center. You can put in the art center your Play-Doh that you make, your brown Play-Doh. For them just to say they help you make the Play-Doh would make them feel so important and so independent. Print making. Use the gingerbread man shaped cookie cutters for printmaking projects. They can take more paint, use the cutters and other things with it. And sponges. And like I mentioned earlier, there are other additional books that you can use. And you can use in your resource center personal space markers, to be ordered from the equipment companies, from supply companies. And a quick teach: children need to hear the same story read to them several times. Children also need daily opportunities to repeat and practice movement activities. Don't just write the child down in the classroom. And as teachers, sometimes we will do that. Plan to reread that book over and over and over. And especially if you make it fun, they want you to read it over and over. Bring it to read it over and over. And you see them in the same over and over to their friends or to their self or to their in dramatic play to their babies, they pretend babies. It is important that stories and activities be repeated with children at different times throughout the year. And that is the first section of Bammm. Make sure you are make sure you completed your pre-assessment first. And I will come back on and do a Bammm part 2. And then after your Bammm part 2, you want to do your evaluation at the end to make sure that you receive your 3 hours of credit, PDR credit. All right. Thank you. I hope you learned something from this lesson.